Hi guys, how are you today? I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Welcome to 2021, and that's actually what I want to talk about. I want to preview the 2021 year and review the 2020 season. So let's get on with reviewing the 2020 season to start with. So, guys, if you haven't seen my videos lately, I've actually been on trip. I've been traveling about 30 cities in the last 4 weeks. Been traveling around Australia. It's one of the only places probably it's easy to travel at the moment. But that's what I've been doing. So it's a summer vacation or holiday here, whatever English you like to use, and that's what's been happening for me. So I've had no time to make videos, but my trip is going to end in approximately a week. I'm going to be back with regular videos. I'm going to be there at the Australian Open. I'm going to be interviewing players. I'm going to have an online interview of Roger Federer. I was waiting for him to come to the Australian Open, but since he won't be there, well, since Roger won't be there, I'll be doing an online interview with him. And you're gonna now my holiday is coming to the end. You're gonna see regular videos from me, and starting in about a week from now. But I found some time now just to, in the middle of my trip, just make one video. I would like to talk to you about the reviewing the 2020 season, and I'll move on to preview the 2021 season. I would have done that over two videos, but of course, as I said, I'm in the middle of a trip, so we're going to do it all in one. So, since this is the only time I could find until a week from now when my trip ends. So, anyway, if we look at the 2020 season, we started off before this whole virus interruption. We had like the ATP Cup. Djokovic won it for Serbia. He was at a really high level. So basically, the story of the ATP Cup in 2020, um, as I sort of go on my review of 2020, was Djokovic on fire at the ATP Cup, I would suggest, and the other Serbian teammates doing a decent enough job to help them get the win. So Serbia was the champion there. Djokovic is the guy who wins the Australian Open almost every year. He was on track to do it again. He actually does do that, but I say Djokovic really, like if you talk about how he dominates the Australian Open, Federer, Wimbledon, Nadal, the French Open, he didn't do that for the 2020. He played an average kind of a level. He found himself down 2 sets to 1 in the final, and he was playing a 4 out of 10 level. And Thiem went for too much with the power and hit too many errors. Um, so that was a bit of the problem there. Yeah, that was a bit of the problem there. So, but he just played sort of an average level. I mean, Raonic sort of had a bad game against him. Federer was up in the sort of first set in the Australian Open, but Federer was injured. Federer's much older anyway, and at the Australian Open, Djokovic should be way ahead. And then going down 2 sets to 1, all the momentum against you, and Thiem gets nervous in Grand Slam finals. So I would say it wasn't the normal Djokovic, but he just found that average. He was very consistent and found a way, so he won the Australian Open. Then we sort of moved on, and we had the Dubai, and then we had the Acapulco. And Nadal played a 7 out of 10, won Acapulco. Djokovic did the same. And then in Dubai, that was where Djokovic won. Then we had the break, and then we started again. We had this Cincinnati, moved into New York, when followed by the US Open. Djokovic wins Cincinnati in New York. Again, looking very rusty, very off, but no one else is really there looking good. Thiem, Medvedev, all these other guys got lost before they could play him. There's no Nadal or Federer there, but he's just playing average level, just getting by, and he's winning Cincinnati. So there you go. That's what happened there. So yeah, as I was saying, that what we see is we see Djokovic winning Cincinnati and playing average, but still, even with that, the confidence. It's your first tournament in 6 months. What can you expect? No one's really there. Like I said, the reason Djokovic wins playing bad and no one else is playing good enough to take advantage of that is because no one's played in a long time. But Djokovic, with his experience, he's able to sort of get at a 5 out of 10 in the consistent game, while others can't when you see Federer and Nadal not there. So that's what we saw at Cincinnati. The US Open, now Djokovic at the time was at 17 Grand Slams. Nadal was at 19, Federer 20. This is his chance to move one away from Nadal and 1 year younger. So he's now on track to get him. And two behind Federer and 6 years younger, and to position himself in the favourite in the GOAT race to get the Great Slams. So what does he do? He hits the ball, woman, I guess out of anger. You could call it bad luck that it happened to hit it. Of course, he didn't target her. Could have went anywhere, and it was bad luck. But Djokovic missed that opportunity. And if you look sort of forward to see sort of what would have happened for Djokovic, I mean, what do you see? You see that Djokovic is, you know what I'm saying? Djokovic is really, he really messed that one up, I would say. Um, and like Thiem won it beating Zverev, but if you look at the draw, Medvedev and Thiem met in the semi-finals. They would have met. The winner would have played Djokovic, which would have been Thiem. You would have had this nervous Thiem who went down 2 sets against Zverev and only came back and won because Zverev got even more nervous. You wouldn't have had that if he was playing Djokovic. So I think Djokovic has just bombed this one. It was him without Nadal and Federer on his best surface on the hard court. Completely blew it. So he stays at 17. Nadal's at 19. Federer's at 20. Like I said, Thiem played a good sort of tournament. In the semi-finals, he beat Medvedev in straight sets, but 2 of the sets he was down a break. But then he got so nervous and played horrible in the first 2 sets, played average to come back. But again, it was Zverev was more nervous. Both of them were like, I'm too nervous to take it. You have it. I'm too nervous. And in the end of the fifth set, what did we find? We found Thiem a bit less nervous. He takes advantage. He wins it. But really, he just blew it all up, didn't he, Djokovic? He would have been at 18 Grand Slams. And part of it is stupidity and part of it is bad luck because the ball could have went anyway. But anyway, he would have been playing a very nervous Thiem. And you can just guess if he had an easy run through to the final. And you can just guess Thiem giving away the first 2 sets to Djokovic. And even the comeback, still nervous and still average at best. What would have happened there? So then Djokovic is not able to capitalize with that. So what happens from there? What happens from there is we move to the clay court season. And Nadal disappointed and lost. I'm not sure who it was. Diego Schwartzman played a good game against him. He was way off. It's his third match sort of after 7 months off. So even on the clay, he wasn't ready to sort of, beat someone like Schwartzman at a good level. We saw Djokovic again with that average, consistent level, but no one there again winning Rome. And then Schwartzman not quite enough. And then Nadal not there because he wasn't ready. Federer's not there. Medvedev went out early because Thiem has just won the US Open. He elected to take that off. So really opened it up for Djokovic to play average again and again get away with another one. So then we move forward to the French Open. Everyone thought Nadal's got 3 matches after 7 months off. Forget about the surface, 3 tennis matches, which happen to be on the same surface. And somehow he's only won the French Open 3 times. He also has the fact they've changed the ball so it's slower ball, less topspin. So you take that out of his game. You make it colder and you put him in the autumn, slower ball. So both factors each take out the topspin till there's almost none left. The autumn being colder, the slower ball, and then just the fact is, even if the conditions were ideal, you got 3 matches after 7 months. But somehow, for only the 4th time of his career, he goes on, he wins the French Open without dropping a set. He's only done that when he's at his very best, 2008 and 2010, and 2013. So only his best years. But this time, only 3 matches back in Rome where he didn't win, just turns it on. Of course, in the beginning, he wasn't as amazing, as great, but you really saw a really high level at Schwartzman in the semi-final. You really saw that really sort of high level against Schwartzman, and then against Djokovic. So yeah, we saw that. Yeah. So yeah, I just felt like Nadal played at an extreme high level. I mean, I felt like he was building up, but then when he played Sinner in the quarterfinals, an extreme great level, then even better against Schwartzman, and then just unbelievable against Djokovic. Absolutely one of his best matches on clay. How do you produce that when you play in autumn with a slower court, slower balls, and only 3 matches in 7 months leading up to it? And you can just say none of that matters. It doesn't matter. I didn't play my usual clay court. See, it doesn't matter what you do with the balls or the weather, or even make me play indoors. I'm just going to crush everybody. So we saw a really difference between Djokovic at his best Grand Slam, the Australian Open, just sort of surviving, and Nadal just crushing people with bad preparation. So then we move on from the clay court season to the indoor season. We saw Djokovic lose to some guy ranked about 50 in the world in Vienna. I think his confidence must have been completely destroyed there. From Nadal at the French Open. So then that happened for him. Rublev went on to win that. He showed some really great form there. So then we saw the story to end the year was all about Medvedev. Medvedev plays an extreme high level, wins Paris, dominating all of his matches, and then he does it again at the top 8 tournament. So Medvedev was just, Medvedev was just on fire in Paris. That's what I just felt like. And then it sort of, he wasn't playing well since they restarted. Maybe he took time to find his game. But he basically just destroyed everybody. But he did go down a set against the Rev, but then came and won at 6-4 and 6-1. But yeah, Medvedev played at a high level. He's the champion in Paris. And then went on to the top 8 tournament and just played an extreme level. He beat 1, 2, and 3 in the world. He beat Nadal in the semi-finals, had to come from a set down. But you felt like he could have won that, but then won the second and third anyway. Same again, the final against Thiem, down a set, but winning the next 2. Yeah. Like I just felt like it was just a really, really good performance from Medvedev. Like back to his best level. What did you guys think about Medvedev's level in the top 8 tournament? Like, I'll go through his results for you. So he's destroying Zverev in the first match, Schwartzman in the second, maybe third. 6-3, 6-3 destroys Djokovic. Again, that's that run from the French Open through to Vienna, through to the World Tour finals. Djokovic, confidence destroyed, far from it. But Medvedev, don't take it away from he's on fire, because he didn't just beat Djokovic. He beats Nadal from down a set in the semi-finals, and he beats Thiem from down a set in the final to clinch it. So that's where we end the year. That's where we end 2021. And 2020. It sets up a very interesting 2021. Because if you take out Federer, who didn't play and won nothing, we have Djokovic winning his best Grand Slam. He won a slam. Then Nadal gets his best slam, the French Open. The US Open, the one that's all up in the air, Thiem takes advantage and wins that. He's free in the world, and then Medvedev wins the fourth most important tournament, because there wasn't 4 Grand Slams because Wimbledon was cancelled. So the fourth was the top 8. So the top 4 in the world all have one of the top 4 tournaments from 2020. Djokovic, the Australian Open, Nadal, the French, Thiem, the US Open, and then the World Tour finals to Medvedev. So I think this 2021, this preview I'm going to give you, it's going to be all about these top 4 battling. The established Nadal and Djokovic at the top of their game still. We've seen that Thiem winning a Grand Slam, beating them at the top 8 tournament after that, really ready now to say, I'm there to challenge you, I'm there to beat you, not just inconsistency, the odd match, I'm there. And then Medvedev the same, winning Paris and London at the end of the year. Not a Grand Slam, but the way he beat 1, 2, and 3, he's also saying, I'm there. So it's going to be about, is it just something short term, or are they just consistently there? Are they ready to say, now we have that good year, 2021, we're going to step to an even higher level and knock Nadal and Djokovic off their perch, and Thiem and Medvedev being the top 2. I think they're all at a similar level, and it's about the 3 and 4, Thiem and Medvedev battling 1 and 2, Nadal and Djokovic. It's all going to be about that in 2021. The biggest for Thiem and Medvedev would obviously be Nadal at the French Open. Thiem has the better chance, still an underdog, but I think you're going to see that Nadal will win the French Open, but I think you're going to see a real battle between those 4. And Thiem and Medvedev having just as much chance. And there's 3 possibilities. 1, Nadal and Djokovic reassert their dominance, and then they say, no, it's not your time yet, and push them away. The other is it's just a battle between the 4, and the other 2 this year really could be the changing of the guard, because they're right there, they're on the level. Nadal and Djokovic will be a year older, so it's going to be really interesting, that battle between the top 4. Like, as far as Zverev and Tsitsipas, they're going to be there in quarterfinals. They're going to be challenging. I think it's going to take them a bit longer, maybe 2020, 2021. 2022. They could do it then, but they'll be in semi-finals this year. And then also, I think Rublev's got a great chance. If there was someone to disturb those top 4 guys, it's going to be Rublev. Because I've just seen he's doing really good things and really good level. I don't know if he's going to really be in the top 4. I think it's going to be all about those 4 guys. And then in amongst all that, we've got Roger Federer coming up, a guy who's going to be basically 40, a year out of the game. He's going to try to come back. And he's going to try to come back. The first of the question is, after a year out of the game at almost 40, can you reach your best level? The second question is, even if he does, you've now not got just Djokovic and Nadal that are better than you because they're 5 and 6 years younger. You've also got Thiem and Medvedev that are surpassing you so much that we're even questioning, can they knock Nadal and Djokovic off their perch? Now, if they can, well, what chance would Federer have? So Federer's got to deal with Nadal and Djokovic, but then 2 guys who are like 15, 16 years younger, who may not only be better than him, but at least as good as Nadal and Djokovic. And all these 4, with Federer being 5th, and having to deal with all that at the same time as a challenge of being a 40-year-old coming out from a year off. So that's the first challenge. Can you get back your old form? Secondly, if you can, it may not be enough because the challenges out there are just crazy. Like I said, but if the inconsistencies of Thiem and Medvedev come back, and then it's only Nadal and Djokovic, and you could get an injury, you never know what Federer could do maybe at a Wimbledon. And also, Thiem and Medvedev's never shown anything at Wimbledon. Nadal's not as great there, so it could come down to a him versus Djokovic, as it's been in the past. But really, it's going to be very hard with four guys that much younger on that much of a high level now. And these two guys on the level of Nadal and Djokovic that have been consistently better than Federer for a while as they've been younger of recent times. And then he's also got to also face some like guys like Rublev, Tsitsipas could beat him from time to time, Zverev. So all of this quality, and you're almost 40 and you're coming back. So I think Federer's sort of best situation is he's fifth best in the world behind these four guys, but maybe you can sneak a Wimbledon. Maybe you can come down to him versus Djokovic. But how will he come back from the year off? And how will he challenge now four guys at that Nadal Djokovic level when you're almost 40 and you've come in from a year? And then like all the young guys like Zverev, Tsitsipas, what are they going to do? I think that they can sort of be in the mix, but not really threatened to win. And then you've got, but like I said, I just see those top four and perhaps Rublev and a Federer as a fifth and a sixth pushing them, but I don't know about getting in them. But the real story being Medvedev and Thiem coming up against Nadal and Djokovic. Can this year be the change in the guard, or will it just be all four at one rough level, all having a rivalry in great tennis? Or will Nadal and Djokovic take them really seriously and push them away? And Federer's challenge of being the fifth best player right now, even if he could reach his old highs, but questioning can he do that? That's going to be interesting for Federer, what we're going to see. And then if guys like Rublev, if Tsitsipas, Zverev get their game, there's just going to be so many guys all playing well. It's going to be very hard for someone of Federer's age. And then the other guy that I see, I don't think he was going to win a Grand Slam. Jannik Sinner, I just see, like I saw his match against Nadal at the quarterfinals of the French Open. Quite a high level that was. Quite a high level. And I just think that Sinner really, I mean, he may win a Grand Slam in 2022, maybe 2023. But I think in 2020, you could see him in some Grand Slam semi-finals and threatening the big guys and really making them battle like Nadal did and use that just bit of extra experience to get away with it. So he's the last guy that I'll show in the mix that are going to challenge it. But for me, the whole story is how does Federer come back? Can he reach his best? And if he does, how does he deal with four guys on the Nadal Djokovic level with that competition? And then this Medvedev theme, are they going to do the changing of the guard? Forget about Federer. Are they going to remove Nadal and Djokovic off their dominance? Are they going to be the Grand Slam winners? That very well could happen. Or it could be four guys at a really high level, or they may not quite have the consistency. And you see another year of Nadal and Djokovic dominating, in which case Federer could come back with his experience as the third guy in that. So I just think that's what it's going to be about. If I had to predict what's going to happen, I would say Nadal's got his best chance at the Australian Open. I just feel like he comes back off a long-term months out, like the 2019 Australian Open. He got through to the final, got destroyed by Djokovic, but that's Djokovic after months being on the tour, months winning. How are you going to come from 4 months and not even play a warm-up tournament and beat him? But just to make the final without losing a set, Nadal did great. 4 months or 5 months of no tennis at the 2019 Australian Open. This 2020 French Open, 3 matches, again, he did great. So I think because of that, it's going to help him. He's going to have a better chance. Djokovic generally takes a couple of months to get it going, so he may have to sacrifice the Australian Open. Nadal is in a great position this year where the first Grand Slam, the Australian Open, he is the only person with a chance to get to 21. He doesn't need to worry if he doesn't win it. Federer could get to 21 because Federer can't. So it's like the worst case is him and Federer stay at 20 Grand Slams each. The best case is, even if he's not the favourite, he's got a decent chance and Federer's got no chance to get to 21. And then the worst case, if that doesn't happen, he's at 20, Federer's at 20. What's the second Grand Slam? The French Open. So he gets there then anyway. So I think that's the situation. A really good chance for Nadal while not being the favourite at the Australian Open, but better than usual. And then the French Open, him taking it. I think the Australian Open is going to be four sort of horse race between Medvedev, Thiem, Djokovic, and Nadal. Probably Djokovic is a slight favourite. If Djokovic needs to win it and get to 18 slams and be two behind Nadal's 20, because if he doesn't, he'll see either Nadal will win it because in his absence and be at 21, while he's at 17, and Nadal wins the French. He's at 22, and he's still at 17, and then it's lost. But the best case for Djokovic, if he doesn't win, is Nadal doesn't win either, but Nadal wins the French Open. So even then, it'll be 21 slams for Nadal, 17 for Djokovic, 11 months age difference. The whole GOAT race is over. So Djokovic must win to keep this alive. A lot of pressure on him because it's quite even. Four-horse race, not as easy as Nadal winning the French, right? So that's the way I see everything. Wimbledon, Federer could be back. He's going to be in with a chance. Nadal's going to be in the chance. Djokovic, the sort of Medvedev or Thiem have a chance. Thiem doesn't have much of a chance. Medvedev has some chance, but it's probably going to be about the big three with sort of an equal Djokovic slight favourite over Federer and Nadal really in the mix. The US Open, it could be about Nadal does well there. He's won it 4 times. And then Thiem and Medvedev, I think they'll be in there with a shot. Even Djokovic, sort of a bit of a shot. So that could, Wimbledon, the US Open could go to anyone. Probably I would go with Djokovic at the Australian Open, Nadal at the French. But so much pressure on Djokovic because the GOAT race is over. He must win to keep the GOAT race alive at the Australian Open. So that's what I think the whole year is going to be about, how Medvedev and Thiem go against Nadal and Djokovic, and is Federer at 5th with all these guys there with a year out and his age. Can he do anything? Is he a chance at Wimbledon? It's hard to say, but it's going to be really about those top 4. And Nadal and Djokovic are the favourites, but Thiem and Medvedev have the confidence of a Grand Slam and a top 8, and they're really coming for them hard. So we're going to have so much to talk about. I'll be there at the Australian Open. I'll be interviewing players. I'll be doing preview videos and analysing matches. The tournaments the week before, I'll be back in about a week to do more videos. So maybe midway in those tournaments or early on, I might be able to do some previews and talk about it. But don't forget to subscribe, the bell notification, the thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world. Subscribe. And remember, I'm going to be interviewing many players at the Australian Open. Federer through Zoom. And I've just got so much going on. Previews, match analyses. Going to go through all the rounds of the Australian Open. Talk to the players. So much going on. That's going to start right before the Australian Open, which is the 8th of February, by the way. And then the week before, or the first week of February, at some point, at least midway through the week, I'm going to jump in there and be back from my trip. And we're going to go through that. So much to look forward to. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Sorry, guys, I've been out for over 4 weeks traveling, but I'll be back in a week and there'll be constant videos from that point. So bye from now. Please subscribe. Have a great day or night. Enjoy your end of January. Bye for now. Bye.